Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee and this is a chapter by chapter video review of the book Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, written by the fantastic author Diana Gabaldon. Now this is a playlist video, so if you have just randomly skipped or hit onto this video and you have not read up to chapter 14 in this book, or you are worried about spoilers or anything like that, then click away. If you have read up to chapter 14 or you're not worried about spoilers, welcome. Let's talk all about this chapter. Now, the chapter title was Mon Cher Petit Ami. I'm going to put it on the screen here. We all know my pronunciation for most words is absolutely shocking. So I would have butchered that title. I'm so sorry. Please don't come for me in the comments. I'll put it here again. This is the title of the chapter and it's a pretty interesting chapter, mind you. So in the previous video, I talked about the letters that John Quincy Myers had brought to the Ridge, one for Jamie, one for Fanny, and one for young Jermaine. Now, I'm starting to feel like the letter is going to be the point later on in the book that I go back and say, this is where the bad things started to happen. Right here. When this letter arrived from John Quincy Myers to Jamie, this is going to be the point that I should have clicked up on. Now, it's not a major thing yet, but it's definitely going to come into play. Basically, the letter to Jamie is indicating that it's starting to happen. There's starting to be more rumblings nearby that little, I don't want to say militias, but little gangs are forming. And that sort of now towards the end of the chapter, I've gone out of sequence for this chapter review because I really want to talk about this letter first. But towards the end of the chapter, a fun little thing happens where Jamie tells Claire he basically is going to start forming a gang. And of course, Claire's like, you're going to form a gang? A gang? Like, why is it a gang? And Jamie was very dumbfounded. He's like, don't you know what a gang is? Don't you know what gang means? And he quickly explains that it's just a gathering of men or a gathering of people to protect themselves. I found it really, like, I love that little quim of, well, don't you know what a gang is? But this is going to be the moment. This is it. This is where he's said aloud to Claire, yes, I'm thinking of forming a gang. This gang is going to it's going to be it. It's going to be the moment that the bad things start happening. I feel it. We also learn in conjunction with Jamie's letter that Frances Marion is someone in history. Now, I don't know enough about this section of time for like real relevance, so please in the comments tell me what is, like, if I muck up, please correct me. I won't be offended at all. But Frances Marion, I'm believing at this point, is on the side with Jamie, and Claire knows that it's not much further down the track that he's going to go against the I don't really know, but Frances Marion is definitely a key person that we know is going to jump ship and is going to turn coat. But I don't know which way. So please, if you know, put it down below, because I will not be offended by any means. But my brain would not click in. And as I say, when I jump from reading straight to this video setup so that I can talk about it as quickly as possible and get the videos out as quickly as possible. And so I can go to the next chapter, because sometimes things for me are left unanswered and I'm like, oh, I need to know, but I need to film this first in case I slip up. I will not spoiler any future chapters if you're on this chapter, if that makes sense. So I won't be offended, but if anyone knows in the real history of life Frances Marion, if he was, just put it down below, because I'm confused already. Now, another letter that was discussed, and this was all in the setting of Fraser's Ridge, all on one night when the family are all having dinner and there are a few extra mouths to feed because of John Quincy's arrival and everybody gathering to have like a family dinner. So Fanny also receives her letter from John Quincy Myers, and it is from William. Now, the letter itself is lovely, and it's basically just making sure she's okay, asking is she happy where she is, just like a check-in letter, basically. And you see young Fanny, she gets so excited. And it's just a really lovely moment. And it's that little touch of, oh, William's still out there and he's caring and he's writing letters. That's lovely. And it's yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was we all know I'm not a big fan of William, and to see that come through, I was like, oh, that's really nice, especially for Fanny, because I love her. I think she's adorable. I want to cuddle her every time she's mentioned in these books. So to have that sort of moment with William and the letter, that really, yeah, that was lovely. And then we got some very exciting news. Very, very exciting news. So young Jermaine received his letter. Now we know that Jermaine is currently living on the ridge with everybody, and Fergus and Masali and all the other children are back wherever. And we know about, obviously, the death of Ombre Christian, which was absolutely heartbreaking when it happened. So obviously Jermaine feels guilty at this point in time. He feels like, you know, he basically helped, well, not help, but, you know, he didn't help save his brother when he died. It was really heartbreaking because I was so worried that this letter was going to be something like, oh, you need to stay at the ridge forever or whatever. But it wasn't, of course. And I should have known. Masali's not evil. She's not an evil character at all. She's one of my favorites. So I don't know why I was thinking that. But the letter comes through, and it's a letter to Jermaine to say, we would love you to come home and complete our family. By the way, you've got 2 new baby brothers. This, of course, was news to everybody, including Claire. And Claire and Jermaine had a really touching moment when Claire was reading the letter with Jermaine, because he had sort of distanced himself during dinner and didn't come back for dessert. So Claire knew that there was something wrong. And when they read that together, and we know that there's 2 more children for Masali and Fergus, I was like, wow, guys, you have got a lot of mouths to feed over there now. So obviously she had twin boys. And I just thought, what a lovely way to add in additional characters to sort of cover all bases with young Jermaine and just, you know, smooth things out after the death of Ombre Christian. Obviously, it was not in any way, shape or form young Jermaine's fault in any way, but the fact that he felt guilty, oh, that broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. What now does concern me in regards to young Jermaine is I don't want him to leave the ridge. I love his character. I want him to stay on the ridge with Jamie and Claire and be a main sort of part in this book. I don't want him to go back to Masali and Fergus. I want him to stay, but I just know that that might cause drama between them. It's crazy how you want these characters to live their happy and best lives, but you want them, like, I don't want young Jermaine to go back to his family. It's like, oh, I feel a bit guilty about that, but, well, I like him in my series and I like him as a regular, not just a letter blow in or whatever that, you know, like, Fergus and Sally now are sort of, to me, they're just too distant. They're too far away in the scheme of things, so I'm losing interest in their storylines. Whereas young Jermaine, he's there, he's in the action, he's forever being a part of things, so I hope that he doesn't just go home. I hope he's like, nah, sorry, I want to stay with Nan and Pop and I'll just live here on the ridge. I'd love to know what you think about the twin boys being born, and do you think Jermaine will go home? Now remember, if you have read past this chapter, please don't tell me what actually happens. Just tell me what you thought would happen around the time that you were reading this. I really love having the interaction in the comments with you guys. It makes my absolute day when I get to read and reply and have conversations in our little Outlander YouTube community here. It absolutely makes my day. We are also very close to 3,000 subscribers, and once we hit 3,000 subscribers, I'm doing an Outlander giveaway, especially for Outlander fans, because you guys have just absolutely rocked my world with support in regards to these videos, and I wanted to give something back to you. So all the details for that will come out when we hit 3,000 subscribers. So if you have not already hit subscribe, please consider doing so. It really does help the channel grow. I hope everyone is having a great day, and I will see you very shortly for the next chapter. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.